The overlap between Formula One fans and One Direction fans has become a little bit more of a circle than a Venn diagram, and the Las Vegas Grand Prix is set to bring a big fan service moment to those Formula One Direction fans. Louis Tomlinson has been announced as the performer for the Las Vegas Grand Prix grid gig. This is the second iteration of the grid gigs, which were launched back at COTA, and when they were announced, I thought it was a pretty interesting idea. Grid gigs are essentially just a concert that takes place on the actual grid between the driver's parade and the actual race. This is an extra form of entertainment for audiences, and of course an additional sponsorship opportunity for Formula One, as these grid gigs are presented by American Express. But the idea of Louis Tomlinson being the performer is actually really exciting to me. And whether this was intentional or not, it is a really fun nod to a lot of the female fans that we've seen become such big fans of Formula One over the last 5 to 10 years. Formula One's audience has become increasingly younger and increasingly more female. One of my most popular videos was actually talking about that overlap between Formula One fans and One Direction fans, and how familiar the fandom space is. Back then, when I talked about it, thousands of people said that they had that same overlap, and a number of people even discussed like the correlation between which driver and which member of One Direction were their favorite. And I think that there's something really fun in particular about Louis Tomlinson being at a Formula One race to perform. As we see the audience demographics of Formula One continue to change, continue to become more diverse, younger, and of course full of more women, there is something to be said in trying to make sure that those women feel more comfortable and more welcome in the sport. And something as small as Louis Tomlinson being one of the performers may seem a little silly, but I actually think that it is a big deal. The Vegas race weekend is actually set to be a really cool one for female fans in general. Not only are we having F1 Academy's grandstand with Hello Kitty and the merch that will come out of that, this is also the F1 Academy season finale in Las Vegas. And personally, maybe it's just because this completely overlaps my interest groups, but I think the Vegas Grand Prix is set up to be one of the most welcoming and exciting for women in this way. I think if we looked at Formula One 5 years ago and said that a member of One Direction would be performing directly before the cars took off at the Las Vegas Grand Prix, as these cars circled the track, they would pass a Hello Kitty grandstand that was sold out specifically for the all-female development series that would be racing at the same time. A series that is sponsored by huge partners like Charlotte Tilbury, Wella Hair, Gatorade. 2 of the cars running around the track during the Formula One race would be sponsored by Elemis. I think it's incredibly cool to see the impact that women in particular have had on this sport, and that a lot of that impact comes from the fan base. Sometimes sports, especially Formula One, can feel unwelcoming to female fans, but it's something that I think has helped make a difference, is the fact that women in particular decided that they wanted to be a part of this space, took up space both online and at the track, and refused to be told no. And we're starting to see the changes that are coming from it. So for you, if you are a female fan in particular of Formula One, and if you are a member of the Formula One One Direction kind of circle Venn diagram, have you felt like the past couple of years, especially this year, have made the sport start to feel more welcoming, and with things like this, maybe even a little more tailored to you being a fan?